Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. Snow blanketed the courtyard in silence. The only thing breaking it was the faint crunch of boots. Uneven. Dragging. You looked up from the herbal mixture spread across your table, just in time to see her. Arlecchino. You'd only ever heard her name before now, whispered among Fatui agents, like it carried weight sharp enough to cut. The knave. The new harbinger. They said she was colder than Snezhnai's wind, and sharper than a blade. That she had no heart left, only duty. But the woman standing in your doorway looked pretty human. She was injured. Her cloak was torn, streaked with soot and blood, and her pale face was drawn tight with exhaustion. Her left arm hung stiffly at her side, her fingers trembling almost imperceptibly, but not to a skilled healer like yourself. Lord Arlecchino, I'm in need of your services, she interrupted, and she was barely keeping her voice from trembling. You blinked once, then quickly got your composure under control. Sit. You're bleeding. It's nothing of concern. If it were truly nothing, you wouldn't be needing my services. Sit down, all right? And you had no idea how you had the courage to order the knave herself around, and yet, at this moment, you had to be tough. No healer could panic around their patients, even if said patient was a harbinger. And for a second you thought she'd argue. She had that air about her, the kind of person who never knew when to yield, even when she should. But after a tense pause, she exhaled and dropped into the chair beside your table. Her cloak fell open, revealing the wound. A clean gash along her ribs. Shallow, but messy. Someone's blade had found her. Not enough to kill her, but enough to wound her. You reached for the antiseptic, fingers moving with instinct. Would you take off your glove? Her eyes flicked towards you, guarded. Why would I? So I can check for circulation loss. You've got a limp. I have to see. She didn't move for a moment. Then, without breaking eye contact, she slowly pulled off the little glove. Her hand was cold, colder than it should have been, and you gently took it in yours, pressing your fingers to her wrist. Her pulse was steady, strong. Still human after all, you murmured without thinking. And that earned you a faint lift to her brow. You sound surprised. I didn't think the Harbingers bled like the rest of us. I'm pretty sure Scaramouche doesn't, she said. And you smiled a little at that, despite yourself. As you worked, the silence between you grew strangely comfortable. You cleaned her wound carefully, the faint scent of frost and steel clinging to her cloak. She barely flinched even as the disinfectant stung, only her jaw tightening slightly. You should have gone to a better medic than me. I don't trust him, that's why. Why trust me then? Her gaze met yours. Steady, unreadable. You were recommended to me by Rosaline. Rosaline? You mean La Senora? She owes me, she said simply. Like that explained everything, and you bit back a chuckle. Of course. The sound made something flicker across her face. Not quite a smile, but softer than anything you've seen so far. You wrapped the bandage around her ribs, firm but gentle. Hold still. I am still. Well, you're pretty tense. I'm always tense. You sighed, fingers brushing lightly against her skin. As you tightened the wrap, she went still at that, utterly still, like even breathing might give something away. You didn't comment. You just finished your work in silence, aware of how close she was, aware of the quiet intensity that radiated off of her. When you finally leaned back, your hands a little shaky, you said, "Done." Arlecchino glanced back at the clean bandages, then at you again. "You're quite efficient." "That's what they pay me for." "You're not like most healers." "Is that a compliment?" "It's an observation." You couldn't help but grin. "I'll take it as one." Her lips quirked, barely noticeable, but it was there, the faintest ghost of amusement. "You're not afraid of me, are you?" "Should I be?" "Everyone else is." "Well, everyone else has probably not seen you bleeding in their chair, so they have more reason to be afraid than I do." That earned you a low hum, almost like a laugh. And she stood after a moment, testing her arm. You could tell it still hurt by the faint twitch in her jaw. But she didn't complain. "You'll need to rest. If that wound reopens..." "It will not." "Lord Arlecchino? Rest. That's an order." For a moment her eyes narrowed, unused to anyone giving her commands. Then, after a long pause, she inclined her head slightly. "Very well." You exhaled, tension leaving your shoulders. "Good." And when you moved to clear the supplies, you felt her gaze follow you. "Do you always speak to your patients this way?" "Only when they're really bad." That earned you a smirk. "Well, you're quite bold." "I like that," she said, and you blushed, looking away. And you heard her leave, the door shutting behind her. And as much as you wanted to see her again, you hoped the circumstances would not be so similar.